See, now you nailed it.
We're back. What's that? Three out of 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, there
We
we
got
go.
your little soundbite boards where we actually have other drops too.
Sound
Like the bomb.
The
I
bomb.
think your name of your team should be Sound Guy.
Sound guy. Hey, everybody, welcome back out to National Players Club Garage Pod.
What?
What?
Part 3.
Part 4, actually.
Part 4? No,
Or
we're part 3.
No, it's
It's
4.
first part of second round.
Yeah,
The
so
first. Yeah.
Sure.
just follow the cue. It'll tell you.
Little buddy boo-boo.
Anyway,
And randomness is
so
okay.
we're doing Week 2's matchups along with Week 2's injury list up. And later on, we've got a special treat coming from our special pick of the week guy.
Yeah, you definitely
So,
have to check this out.
you're gonna have to
It's
stick around.
Check it out.
If you even made it this far.
Yeah.
So,
Alaska.
let's get rolling.
Do another shot. It's all going to be good.
The shot will help.
We're jumping off to next week's matchups. We've got our first matchup is going to be the first place 2 Pump Chumps playing against the Annihilators. And as I've seen so far, 2 Pump Chumps has already put up 30 points
30
via
points.
Thursday night's game because we now have Thursday night games.
Green Bay's defense just blew up. I mean, you're talking 10 points allowed, 4 interceptions, 7 sacks. I mean, phenomenal. I mean,
It was a defensive game across the board. I mean, it was
Absolutely.
Denver and Green Bay. Nobody got their start
Chicago and
on.
Green Bay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, excuse me. Chicago and Green Bay. Neither one of them got their start on. It was all about a defensive struggle back and forth. And going to phones.
Going to the phones. First caller.
In the meantime, we've got some injury reports to give to you guys. For the Annihilators, Christina Sebastian Janikowski has a groin injury. He's probable for next week against Miami.
He don't know stinking groin.
Keep an eye on him, to see whether or not he's going to start. Kicker with a groin injury is pretty tough. Also, you've got Ryan Matthews, who I think is on your bench against Tennessee.
I'm going to pause
he's
you
got
there
his-
for 1 second.
Okay.
Ryan Matthews, still out. Rashad Mendenhall coming back.
Rashad Mendenhall.
I want a board bet on who scores the first touchdowns via Ryan Matthews, who's still not playing, and Rashad Mendenhall coming back in a limited position.
That actually helps me in another fantasy league. So, awesome.
And since you are the resident Rashad Mendenhall,
Actually, I don't have him this year, which is the crazy
I
part.
know, but you still own the I love
Rashad Mendenhall. Yeah, he did good for me for a long time.
Christina,
So,
you also have Jake Locker, who's your backup quarterback, left shoulder injury. It's questionable. He probably will start.
He got banged up. She's another one of the players like Devin that has 3 quarterbacks. She's doing quarterback by committee. I asked her if she was going to go back and take Sanchez because she dropped Sanchez to get Locker. Locker got banged up. Sanchez blew up week 1. I'm not completely drinking the Kool-Aid on that one, but she's sticking with Locker last time.
I'm
Well,
still
she-
going
she
week
does-
4.
she does
Tebow
have,
the Jets.
She does have Eli Manning as a quarterback
Tebow.
this week against Tampa Bay, which I think is a great matchup. Her bench is Matt Castle against Buffalo, which I think would probably be a little tougher because Buffalo's blowing it up. CJ Spiller, that's your guy.
And
I don't know, Castle looks good
And
this
Devin's
year.
wide receiver.
All right, Brandon, you've got all kinds of
You got
all kinds
issues.
of problems, man.
Issues.
I won't say huge
He
issues.
is an issue.
DeMarco Murray has got a wrist problem. Nothing to worry about. Demarius Thomas.
He's got another wrist.
He's got another wrist. You got Demarius Thomas playing at Atlanta. Shoulder problem. He should be able to play. Nothing to worry about there.
Atlanta's secondary, banged up. He still looks good. They went to him more than they went to Eric Decker. So, right, Demarius Thomas, Eric
Yeah,
Decker. Yes.
exactly.
Okay, so yeah, they definitely favored your boy versus Erica's, and their secondary, as far as last I heard, is banged up. I think they lost someone at least 4. I know, lost with the hands.
It's a good thing the camera is now stationary because Aaron was
Yeah, I used to
notorious
shake this
for
thing like crazy.
earthquakes.
Well, also on your bench, you got Kenny Britt, who's with a knee. He's questionable. He's expected
supposed
to
to be
play.
starting week
Expected
2.
to play against San Diego.
If
Looking
not,
for about 15 to 25 snaps. Should be good to go. And you also have Ryan Williams on your bench against New England. man, I would not start him because New England's defense is looking very solid.
Did you see what they did to Chris Johnson? Really?
Exactly.
4 yards rushing. Just saying.
10 points. Just saying.
So now we're
Is
going
he
to
off
go.
Arizona?
He isn't traded yet.
Is he not the backup to Beanie Wells?
He is
Just
back
look
up for
at how
Wells,
many weeks
but
he
Beanie
traded from
Wells,
him like I am.
Beanie Wells has also got some injury issues, so we'll touch that in a minute.
Too, so.
So now we're going to go Gnomes in comics.
Okay.
Devo.
So not
Well,
in
it's
Gnomes
just a
and
house
comics.
affair.
We're looking at Gnomes versus comics. Another in-house game, back-to-back. DK Comics, although Jamaica Finley didn't do what it was supposed to do, like I said, it was a big defensive game on Thursday night. So Jamaica Finley only pulled them off, 4 points? Give or take?
4 points.
But that said, his kicker blew up. So DK's already got 21 points walking into this game. So he's over on the kicker, under on the
He's got
tight end.
21 points already
Yeah,
from his kicker.
But he's down by 4 against.
and
So.
yeah, and not in Gnomes. And Erica does have 25 points.
That's
Robbie Gould, 6 points. Bears defense, 19 points.
Oh, was it her defense play? Oh, it was her
Way to
defense.
go,
So the defense
kicker,
are like
dude.
25 points. Good defensive stand. A bit more than you'd expect. If you can get 15 to 20, you're good. If you get 25, you're golden for sure. To get what he got out of his kicker, great. What he got out of his tight end, lesser. So I think he's still on the upside of those 3 players that have been played.
Right. Although Andrew Luck starting against Minnesota, I don't know. Minnesota's defense is looking really good this year, but you do have Freeman on your bench against the Giants. Giants did not look good against the Cowboys. Man, I would look at that, seriously for your matchup.
Here's the thing with Luck. He put up 333 yards last week. No touchdowns, I believe. But he did put up 333 yards and also threw 3 interceptions. If they can squash those interceptions, or at least bring those back into check, I'm starting Reggie Wayne this week in that matchup because they threw it to him 19 times.
Exactly.
So I think I like him going into this matchup. But like I said, he's got to pick the best of everything.
But then again, I mean, look at New England or look at Indianapolis' number 1 receiver. I mean, that's basically all they have.
Yeah,
Luck
yeah.
and Reggie Wayne. Erica Pierre Gasson
That
went
be the Lucky
out,
Wayne combo?
before the half.
Yeah, he
last
got
week.
8 points, and he rode out in the sunset.
Exactly. I mean, it's a game time decision. Against St. Louis, though, I mean, he could come in and just blow it up.
St. Louis is a nightmare.
Exactly. You do have Hakeem Nicks against Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
His
didn't do
foot-
anything for you last week.
His foot's been out.
Just saying.
His foot's bad. He has been held out of practice
Hakeem
due to
Nicks.
surgery. He's got a
Oh,
repaired foot. They expect him to play. Keep an eye on that. You got Marshawn Lynch against
You're going
Dallas.
down.
Man, Dallas's
softball.
defense has been awesome. I mean, this is their first week, but Dallas's defense is solid. I don't know if I would do Marshawn Lynch against Dallas. I honestly don't. Then you got Beanie Wells. His knee's been banged up. They're playing against New England at New England. So New England's again.
They're going to be
Yeah.
playing from behind. They've got to throw to finish off that game. Like I said, again, Fitzy, they're going to double team him. I think the run game is going to get squashed. They're not going to have to. They can't rely on that, and they can't use that to ride out the clock.
My note on this, Aaron, is bench Beanie. Don't
Sounds
start
over
it.
here.
Don't start it. Devo, you got Steve Smith out. With knee, he's questionable. They expect him to play against.
week 1. I like what he's doing moving forward. Sorry, I didn't
They
run-
expect him to play. I mean, he's playing versus New Orleans at home. He's expected to play. You got to start him.
Yeah, and their whole secondary is kind of subject.
You have to start him.
All right, give us matchup 3.
We
We're
got,
looking at
Total
Total
Chaos
Chaos
against
and
Show Me the TDs.
here's another house matchup. We
In the
didn't
house.
have to wait
The rumble
to
between
week
the sheets.
4 or 5 to
Just
see who won out again.
See who gets the first win.
Mad props last year, by the way. You said you've been riding that for about a year.
My only win
Clint-
against my husband. Yeah.
That
Right.
being said, you
You're
have
going down again.
neither one of you guys have points up to this point, right?
No, she had Cedric Benson. She went ahead and benched him and took
You have
Jamal
a 1 point
Charles.
wonder? Yeah, you out.
She put Jamal Charles, which is 15 points right now. Cedric Benson's already put up 15 points. She put up Jamal Charles and moved one of her wide receivers into a flex position, not Danny Amendola. No, it was a tight end. She moved Tammy into play. Jacob
you finally
Tammy.
put him in.
Yep.
What's our injury look?
You look at
Like, I know
Victor
that.
Cruz, his grandmother passed away. He's expected to play. Jason Witten, again, you could rip out his spleen was practically ripped
I
out.
expect him to be better this week than he was last.
Absolutely.
He's
absolutely.
only getting better moving
I don't
forward.
see 10 points out of it.
Austin Miles, hamstring. Keep an eye on the hamstring. But then again, he is playing for his job right now. I have from good authority. If he is playing for his job,
Did well last week. Soft tissue injuries are
Ogletree.
Havoc Reekers.
Ogletree is
was
continuing for his job.
overrated in week 1. Was outstanding, but he's not going to be the Laurent Robinson of the end of last year.
No.
Wait to see how that plays out because as other people get healthy, he's going to turn into wide receiver or option number 4.
Exactly. Trudy, you got Calvin Johnson. His foot, he's going to play. Don't worry about
It's Calvin Johnson. You start Calvin
Exactly.
Johnson.
Exactly.
Exactly.
If
with
he's
the-
dragging his spleen with him onto the field, you start Calvin
He's
Johnson.
got a dialysis
Roll over his
machine.
shoulder.
He's still
He's
outrunning
going to go
guys.
for you. You start Calvin Johnson.
You got Deshaun Jackson playing against San Francisco. He's got a hamstring issue. San Francisco's defense has been rated number 1
Yeah,
in
they're
fantasy.
pretty stellar.
They're stop.
D-Jack is subject. And here's the thing, because he's being thrown to by someone that is tossed up 4 interceptions last week, too.
Vicky.
Gotta keep that in mind.
Exactly. But he's going to play starting. Then you got James Starks, who's on your bench. He's got a toe. He missed week 2 against Chicago. You didn't lose a whole lot there. Don't worry about that. So now we're going to go to our next.
Let's move it on to matchup 4.
Yep.
We're looking at Barflies versus Road Rash Brothers. The
Brothers.
Olsen twins.
It's
The
the
Olsen
Olsen
the Olsen twins once again!
Oh, let me see. I got Barfly.
Barflies already sitting at 14 points. And I'm looking at, God, does that say Road Rash at -3?
No, I got Road Rash at 4. You got Brandon Marshall put up 4 points already. So, but
But here, okay, so Brandon Marshall, talking about arguably his number 1 wide receiver that put up 28 points for him last week.
only
Let's
put up
put
4.
4. Okay.
But for
Just saying.
for
That might
John
be
though,
the F-bomb of the week.
for John though, his big question is going to be Roddy White. He's got a groin issue. All right, and so he's going to be questionable for next week against Denver. Denver has a solid defense this year, but he missed 2 days of practice. You got to keep an eye on Tony Carter, who's their 2nd-year player there. He may get more looks than Roddy White does. If
I don't see
groin
that.
issue.
I see that.
That's according to CBS, though. That's
Yeah, but
according
here's
to
the thing.
CBS.
You've got Julio Jones, who is their now clear-cut their number 1. You've got Tony Gonzalez.
Exactly.
You've got my quarterback that threw to all of them last week for 3 touchdowns and ran for a 4th. Put up almost 1 shy of 300 yards. He's going to get the ball out there. Even if they put out Roddy White as a decoy and they double team Julio Jones, I think you still have to start him hands down over. What did you say?
This,
Some knucklehead that just
Carter.
Tony Carter.
Yeah, that's it.
But they're expecting Tony Carter, according to CBS, which is who we play with, they're expecting him to get more looks if the groin is an issue. Which
Is it
you
a
know,
game time decision?
it is not a game time decision.
He's questionable.
Questionable.
They'll
He's
start.
playing.
Questionable.
They'll start.
He's playing.
They'll be
Road Rash,
Let's move.
Mike, Austin Collie, man, he's got a head injury. He's doubtful, may not play. You got to see about how that goes against Minnesota again. That's probable. May not be playing. We'll see how that goes out. Fred Jackson, you got to dump him because C.J. Spiller is going to get all the carries in Buffalo.
See, I disagree. Here's the thing. You don't start him, obviously, because C.J. Spiller is going to get the run of it. Okay, here's another board bet.
He's got a sprained
Fred
LCL.
Jackson, yeah.
LCL.
Fred Jackson should be out, they said, 3 to 8 weeks. So
Three.
arguably, they're saying
4 to
4
5.
weeks
Yeah.
he's back on the board.
Right.
Back on the board without playing. So you're looking at a solid month. So granted, yeah, you're not starting him, but do you drop that player because you're looking at a month down the road? We still have got a number of games to go. If you look at the player pool and look at the running backs that are coming out there, can you, if you have the room, can you put him on your bench and secure him there and wait for him for
There's got to be
6
other
weeks
viable
down the road?
options.
Because he's arguably their number
Oh,
one. But here's the other problem. If he comes back and C.J. Spiller starts blowing up like he has been, do they start splitting a 50-50 time like
I don't think they
D'Angelo
will.
Williams and Jonathan Stewart
I don't think
are
they will.
doing in Carolina?
But if you look at Mike's lineup, he's got LaShawn McCoy as his starting running back. His bench is Sean Green. You know, in
Did well
you know,
last week, but I don't expect that to do anything going forward.
But you know, I don't think. You know, honestly, Fred Jackson, Mike dropping. I think you can replace him for a wide receiver. You can find a good wide receiver out
Sorry.
there. All right, trust me on that. I think it's going to be golden for you.
Hey,
Trust
I think
them on
we're
Officially,
over time
we're
on this
over
one.
our time on this one.
So we're gonna cut this one loose, jump back, and wrap this up.
Got a couple of things to throw out there for the next little. It'll be a short segment. So stick with us. We'll be right back.